The US and Israel have launched a joint attack on Iran, with President Donald Trump declaring major combat operations are underway.
In particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon, and we can't take it anymore.
At 0100 Zulu time, 4 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers completed a historic, non-stop, 30-hour round-trip mission from the heart of the United States to the deserts of Iran. They dropped dozens of 2,000-pound precision bunker busters on the regime's deepest, most heavily fortified underground ballistic missile sites. Iran built these facilities deep inside mountains, thinking that depth equaled safety. They constructed reinforced bunkers, hardened tunnels, and command centers buried where they believed American bombs could not reach. And then, 4 B-2s flying from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri punched through all of it. This was not a reconnaissance mission. This was Annihilation. This represents the largest, most complex bunker-busting operation in military history. And as of this morning, Iran's underground missile infrastructure has become its tomb. Before we reveal exactly what weapons the B-2s carried, why 2,000-pound bombs were chosen over the massive GBU-57s used last year, and how these pilots managed to fly for 30 hours undetected, you need to understand the scale of this operation. 4 B-2A Spirit bombers flew non-stop, no forward staging, no landing in Europe, no warning. An unnamed U.S. official confirmed to Fox News that these 4 aircraft, operating under the flight code Pro-41, were already speaking with air traffic control over the Strait of Gibraltar on their way home, while Iranian missile sites were still burning underground. Mission complete. The bombers were already halfway across the Atlantic before Tehran even realized what had hit them. Let's analyze the weaponry. Why did the Pentagon choose 2,000-pound bombs? The use of the B-2 for these strikes proves that the massive 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator was not needed for this specific target set. The B-2 can transport a payload of over 40,000 pounds. For this mission, each bomber carried dozens of GBU-31 version 3 JDAMs. These are not your standard gravity bombs. These are equipped with the BLU-109 hardened steel warhead. They are designed specifically to penetrate reinforced concrete and detonate inside bunkers. While the nuclear sites struck in June 2025 required the massive GBU-57 to crack open mountains, destroying missile production lines and storage tunnels requires volume. By using the smaller but lethal GBU-31, the B-2s could strike dozens of aim points simultaneously, collapsing tunnels and crushing the missiles before they could ever be launched. Now look at the mission profile. This is a demonstration of American strategic reach that no other military on Earth possesses. Flying a 30-hour round-trip mission proves that the U.S. can strike any target on the globe from its own soil. The Pro-41 flight followed the same route used during Operation Midnight Hammer last year. Same route, same operational security, same devastation. Their flight was supported by a massive logistical ballet involving the KC-46 Pegasus tanker fleet. Reports confirm that KC-46 tankers using the call sign REACH met the bombers over the Atlantic and the Mediterranean to keep them airborne. Intelligence suggests a deliberate deception tactic was used, where the bombers utilized tanker call signs on radio frequencies, making anyone listening think they were tracking refueling aircraft instead of nuclear-capable bombers loaded with bunker busters. The staging from Lajes Air Base in the Azores was critical. Video footage has surfaced showing 5 KC-46 tankers executing a minimum interval takeoff, launching just 30 seconds apart. This elephant walk launch procedure allowed them to form a massive fuel bridge across the ocean, ensuring the B-2s had full tanks before they entered the danger zone. But why hit the missile sites now? Why does this matter more than the nuclear facilities? Because Iran's nuclear program was already crippled in June 2025 when 7 B-2s dropped 14 massive 30,000-pound penetrators on the Fordo and Natanz enrichment facilities. That job is done. This strike was about eliminating retaliation. By targeting the underground ballistic missile sites, the US and Israel have stripped Iran of its ability to fire back. You cannot threaten American bases if your missiles are buried under tons of collapsed concrete. Simultaneously, the U.S. Navy executed a devastating strike on Iran's economic lifeline. Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from submarines in the Arabian Sea obliterated the Kharg Island crude export terminal. This facility handles 1.8 million barrels of oil per day, almost all of Iran's export capacity. High-resolution post-strike imagery shows the entire complex engulfed in uncontrolled fires, with thick black smoke plumes visible from space. 1.8 million barrels per day. Gone. Iran's revenue stream has been severed. At the same time, U.S. missiles struck the Bandar Abbas naval base, targeting the underground fuel bunkers. Thermal imaging confirms catastrophic breaches, with approximately 60% of Iran's naval fuel reserves destroyed and connecting tunnels flooded. Without fuel, the Iranian Navy is dead in the water. They cannot deploy, they cannot fight. This operation, dubbed Operation Epic Fury, also saw the debut of terrifying new American weapons. U.S. Central Command released images showing the U.S. Army's new Precision Strike Missile, or PRSM, launched from HIMARS systems hitting targets with pinpoint accuracy. Even more shocking, photos have emerged of a Tomahawk cruise missile painted in a glossy black low-absorbency coating. This is the first confirmed combat use of the stealth Tomahawk, designed to slip past radar completely undetected. While America hammered the missiles and the oil, Israel went for the kill shot on the remaining nuclear infrastructure. A parallel Israeli strike package using F-35I Adir stealth fighters equipped with Spice 2000 glide bombs neutralized the Arak heavy water reactor and the Isfahan uranium conversion facility. In the east, Israeli drones and standoff missiles eliminated the Parchin military research complex, the suspected site of nuclear warhead design, and destroyed 2 solid-fuel missile production lines near Saman. America hit the delivery systems. Israel hit the warheads. It was a complete, coordinated dismantlement of Iran's strategic existence. And what about the Iranian air defense, the vaunted S-300s, the indigenous Bavar 373s? They failed completely. The 4 B-2 Spirit bombers flew into Iranian airspace, dropped their ordnance, and left without a single missile being fired at them. The Iranians found out about the attack when the ground was shaking. However, this war is not without cost. Asymmetrical warfare is brutal. U.S. Central Command has announced that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action and 5 are seriously wounded during these operations. Meanwhile, Iranian authorities are reporting more than 200 deaths, including dozens of senior IRGC commanders and reportedly Supreme Leader Khamenei himself, though this remains unverified. Iran attempted to retaliate, but their response proves their weakness. Iranian missiles managed to strike the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet Service Center in Bahrain, causing damage. They hit 2 commercial supertankers in the Strait of Hormuz, setting one on fire. Proxies in Yemen and Lebanon fired rockets into Israel. But notice what they did not hit. They did not hit the B-2s. They did not hit the submarines. Iran can hit static bases, they can terrorize commercial shipping, but they cannot reach the platforms that just dismantled their country. The bombers flew from Missouri, delivered their payload, and went home to sleep in their own beds. The U.S. Air Force is already preparing for the next round. A new contract valued over $100 million has been awarded to Boeing to immediately replenish the stock of GBU-57 and GBU-31 bunker busters. The U.S. used its heavy hitters and immediately ordered more. This is a clear signal to Tehran and the world. We have plenty more where that came from. So, here is the reality of the situation. Iran built underground missile cities thinking depth would save them. America flew bombers 30 hours from the Midwest and proved them wrong. Iran's oil exports are burning, their naval fuel is gone, their nuclear program is dust, and their missile production lines are collapsed. This is not a degradation of Iran's military capabilities. This is annihilation. The B-2s are already home, engines cold, pilots debriefed. But for the regime in Tehran, the fire is just starting to spread. Operation Epic Fury has changed the Middle East forever. Subscribe to Daily Military Talks and hit that bell, because we'll be covering every bunker, every missile site, and every detonation as this war unfolds. Share this video immediately. The world needs to know the truth. Stay tuned.